morning, this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. We'll be looking at the MACDs, the moving averages and the day's support, resistance and pivot levels. It is Tuesday the 29th of September. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against the US dollar, we're looking at the hourly candlesticks here. It's a choppy start to the morning but finding some early support. Going to need to see Bitcoin break through the pivot level at 10,785 to target the first major resistance level sitting at 10,915. Going to need to see support from the broader market, however, for Bitcoin to break out from 10,800 levels and move back through to 10,900s. So barring an extended crypto rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, we've got yesterday's high sitting at 10,986 and resistance at 11,000 to pin Bitcoin back. Failing to move through the pivot will bring the first major support level sitting at 10,585 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should avoid sub 10,500s and the second major support level that sits at 10,456. Looking at the MACDs, marked widening of the bearish histogram following yesterday's bearish cross, suggestive of an early morning pullback following yesterday's late sell-off. So looking at the EMAs, we're seeing a similar indicator here, the 50 narrowing on the 100 and the 200, suggestive of a bearish morning ahead. So key through the early part of the day would be for Bitcoin to break back through to 10,800 levels through that pivot level to then target 10,900. Failure to do that and you got the support levels coming into play. Moving across to Ethereum against the US dollar. Slightly positive start to the morning after an early dip. Going to need to see Ethereum move through the pivot at 358.1 to target the first major resistance level, sitting at 364.33. Going to need to see broad-based crypto rally, however, for Ethereum to break back through to 360 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, that first major resistance level and the 38.2% fib at 367 should cap any upside. Failure to move through the pivot will bring the first major support level sitting at 347.69 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should still well clear sub 340s. Second major support level sits at 341.46. Looking at the MACD, again, marked widening of the bearish histogram following a late bearish cross yesterday, suggestive of a pullback this morning, and we're seeing the 50 EMA narrow on the 100 and 200, suggestive of a bearish day. We're also looking at that 100 and the 200 and a possible bullish cross, but that could fail to deliver. So key through the early part of the morning for Ethereum to move through the pivot level at 358 and through to 360s to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and you got sub 350s and the support levels in play. Moving across to Litecoin against the US dollar, relatively bullish start to the morning. Going to see Litecoin move through the pivot at 45.71 to target the first major resistance level sitting at 46.63. Going to need to see broad-based crypto rally, however, for Litecoin to break back through to 46 levels. So barring an extended rally through the day, expect that first major resistance level to pin Litecoin back. In the event of a breakout, expect Litecoin to move back through to 47 levels. Second major resistance level at 48.04 would likely limit any breakout, however. Failure to move through the pivot, got the first major support level sitting at 44.3. That should limit any downside. In the event of a sell-off, expect the second major support level at 43.38 to come into play. Looking at the MACDs, similar trend, widening of the bearish histogram following the bearish cross yesterday, suggestive of an early morning pullback. On the EMAs, we're seeing the 50 narrow on the 200 and the 100, also suggestive of a bearish morning ahead. So key through the early part of the day to move through the pivot level at 45.71 and back through to 46s to support a run at the resistance levels. Failure to do that and expect sub 45s and the support levels to come into play. Finally, moving across to Ripple's XRP against the US dollar. Relatively bullish start to the day. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP move through the pivot at 0.2451 to bring the first major resistance level at 0.2507 into play. Going to need to see a broad-based crypto rally, however, for Ripple's XRP to break back through to 0.25 levels. So barring extended rally, expect 0.25 and that first major resistance level to cap any upside. Failure to move through the pivot. Got the first major support level sitting at 0.2353 that could come into play. Barring extended sell-off, Ripple's XRP should avoid sub 0.23s. Second major support level sits at 0.2297. Looking at the MACD, we had the late bearish cross yesterday and a widening of the bearish histogram this morning, suggestive of a pullback. EMA is telling a similar story, a slight narrowing on the 50 through the 100 and the 200, suggestive of bearish morning ahead. So key through the early part of the day, needs to avoid sub 0.24s and a move through the pivot level at 0.245 to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and you got support levels in play on the day.